Hey everyone, welcome to Michelle's Mystic Corner. Obviously, I am Michelle Metheny. I am your tarot reader. I am also a certified numerologist. I'm also a high priestess. And today on the show, we are going to talk about the Lenormand cards. And we're going to go over those. Yay! I'm looking forward to it. Um, I have my co-host. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied today. I have my co-host with me. I have Dax Carlisle. He is a professional tarot reader. He is the co-founder of the Tarot Guild and the Psychic Cafe. Um, Come on, Dax. I'm so sorry.
Ah,
I always get
hi, Michelle.
tongue-tied at the intro.
We have to work on that.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. Well, it's not your fault. It's like, gosh, how long have you been doing the show now? And, we haven't done any Zoom meetings where we go over all this stuff and practice and, and things like that. Plus, things are different now. I'm going to actually have to listen to the replay to see how the beginning of the show actually started. um there's a huge delay when we're actually doing this on Zoom and then sending it to the YouTube studio and then out as a live on YouTube.
Mhm.
And now that we don't have Blog Talk, there's no intro music. We don't even know when to start the show.
We
When do
should
we
start
actually
playing a song.
yeah, I mean, we may have to go back to using Blog Talk just so we can play the music. It's
Right.
but
Create our own little psychic cafe music.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
I actually love the intro music we have for Psychic Talk. Um, been using it since the beginning of the network. This is like our fifth network on Blog Talk Radio and YouTube. Um, and we actually got it. You have to use PodSafe, what they call PodSafe music, uh, music without royalty. You know,
Right.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you get dinged, for copyright infringement on YouTube. And
Mhm.
so we actually use music from YouTube. YouTube
Mm.
has an entire library of music, and way back in the day, I knew all of that was pod safe. You could use it on your podcasts, on your YouTube videos, your YouTube channels, your lives, everything. So we
Mm.
took a piece of music from YouTube and used that as our intro music on Psychic Talk. It was just radio then; we weren't even on YouTube yet. So that's where that came from, and we've had that for gosh, long, long, long time.
And that would be really nice to use on the intro to our shows.
Hmm. Yeah, well, we have used it on the intro to our shows for a really, really long time. You know,
Mm.
it's just difficult to do it. Like there's really no way to do it unless we are connected with Blog Talk,
Oh, that's a bummer.
because the only way you could do that on a straight YouTube show is you'd have to have like a mixing board. And so you would have the music going into a mixing board along with like the microphone and then going into the computer. Yeah, it's too technical.
Yeah, that's too much.
Too much for me. I mean, the whole idea is we're trying to cut back on the craziness,
Yes,
with
yes,
the
I
with the
agree.
YouTube and everything. Yeah. So it's really quiet out there right
It
now.
is very quiet.
Yeah, I even promoted today,
Yes, I did too.
and Dan did. Dan's in the chat, but I think he's in there by himself. I don't know if
I'm not sure if anonymously is in there or not. If you were
anonymously
in
did
on
pop
it,
in before the
yeah.
show, and according to the stats, there are a lot of other people watching. But
Yeah. So hello everybody.
hi, everyone. Pop into the chat and ask us a question.
And if you have any questions on the Lenormand Oracle, we are going to be discussing that. So check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Ask some questions. Feel free.
Yeah, all of our shows here on the network, our lives, that's what they're for, is for you to ask questions. I know people ask personal questions like, for a mini reading, but you don't have to do that. You can actually ask questions just in general about Lenormand and
Mhm.
tarot and numerology and all the other stuff that we do. And you can ask questions about the Tarot Guild. You can ask about Psychic Cafe, our new website. Actually, let me pop up the URL. There it
Okay.
is. There it is.
Woo.
www.psychic.cafe. Take you right over there. It's free to join. It is a social networking platform, not just a website. So it has all the features that you're used to on these big social media platforms, like Facebook, for instance. It's Facebook, but it's psychic Facebook.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and so we have groups and instant messaging, status updates, what they call it on Facebook, like your wall, and your news feed and everything like that, activity
Yeah,
feed.
your news feed.
Yeah,
Yes.
on our website, it's just called the stream, and then you have your own personal stream, just all the stuff that you're posting on your profile. Yeah, and you get a free profile. Yeah, it's free to sign up. You get a free profile and blog posts. You can post your events. We have an event section. We've got articles, blog posts you can put in, and you can post your videos and pictures and comments and deck reviews and book reviews and all that kind of thing.
Yes.
It's pretty awesome there. So, oh my God, it's the 11th already.
The
11th of
11th.
11th
Yeah.
of May.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
This
Um,
year is just flying by already.
the entire date reduces to the nurturer energy, that 6 energy. And I pulled a card for today. I got the devil card. And
Interesting.
that's the attachments. What do we attach to? There's some things, we always talk about the attachment thing. What are you addicted or obsessed with, right? Sometimes, the devil shows up telling you, you need to confront your demons, but there's other oh gosh, what would you call it? Sayings and things like you've heard, Michelle, the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes this card comes up to say, you know, maybe you should take a look at that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you're deciding on something and you're looking for some guidance, sometimes this card shows up to say, hey, go with the devil you know, right?
Yes.
Oh, here's another one, Michelle. Give the devil his due. Remember that?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Haven't
Yes.
heard that in a long time.
So sometimes this card pops up to just let sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes it'll just show up to point out that you're in a toxic situation. Perhaps you need to look at where you are and how you got there. And remember, I always point this out with this card. If you look really close, the two individuals, which, by the way, if you notice really closely, it's the same two individuals on the Lovers card. Yes, representative of like Adam and Eve. A lot of people don't notice that. And also the fact that this is card 15 and 1 + 5 is 6. So 15 reduces to 6. So the lovers and the devil are actually sister cards.
Yep.
And if you look really close, they're chained to the devil figure, which, by the way, is not really a devil. If you look at the details here, I mean, it's got a man's body up there, and then bat wings and everything, goat's head, and so forth. It's a fake animal. It's a construct. So it's hinting at, the devil isn't real. We give the devil power. And notice we're attached to the block there, they're chained. But look how loose the loops are of the chains around their neck. They could just pull those off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And lastly, sometimes this card is about exploring your shadow side, you know, kind of saying the devil card comes up in a reading and it's like, oh, the devil card. But it's really trying to I can't remember how to say it, but like depower the situation. Don't be afraid to go there. Don't be afraid to explore the shadow side. Sometimes it's a source of healing, really. And then let me do the tarot card and numerology for tomorrow, which is going to be Mother's Day. Yes, Sunday, May 12th already.
You
And
know,
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say for your card, I just drew. I had drew a card, and it is the whip,
Okay.
which means you have to clear something away, and it goes with your devil card
Oh, great.
because it's about clearing away and getting rid of something that's not serving you. And it just goes so
Yeah.
well with what you were saying
Mm-hmm.
that I had to share that with you.
Mm.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Okay. Yeah, let me start it over because remember, I'm recording this for tomorrow,
Sorry.
actually. We're going to put this out. So here's the numerology and the card of the day for Sunday, May 12th, 2024, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. And the entire date reduces to 7, the secret energy. And the Three of Pentacles came up again. And this came up just a couple of days ago. It's saying, like, who can you partner with? And it's that 3 energy, creativity. Maybe sometimes this is showing up to say, hey, we can, you can learn new skills. Sometimes it shows up to say, hey, you should focus on building a strong team, partnership. A good team makes all the difference. Sometimes it's growing your craftsmanship with steady practice. The more you work on it, the more you practice, the better you get. uh
Are you there? Uh-oh.
what happened there? I don't know what happened there. Are we
I
back?
have no idea. I think we are.
Yeah.
Um, I think we're still frozen on YouTube. Oh, nope, there we go.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, folks. We had some kind of technical glitch there with the internet, and it went out.
Yeah.
Everything disappeared and it went trying to connect, trying to connect. That's what happens when you're dealing, with technology. It's great, but then sometimes. So just to finish up, we were talking about the Three of Pentacles here. And with that 3 energy, it favors creative work. Um, it could be advising some folks out there that you need to seek a creative career, or adding a creative flair to your current job. Do you have a muggle job? um in some cases it could be indicating or advising you to renovate, like literally, like your home, or fix a situation a little more figuratively. Basically get down to work is what it's saying, right? It sometimes can advise you to go back to school too, to learn new skills. uh it's not a general going back to school card like, say, the Hierophant is. It's more specific, and it would depend on your situation. But there you go. There's the card of the day and numerology, Sunday, May 12th, 2024. Happy Mother's Day, everybody out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Did you pull any cards
I
today?
did. So
Oh.
I got the cross,
Mm-hmm.
which is saying don't carry any burdens around today. Let go of any burdens you have, because I also got the fox. And the fox is cunning, but he is also very smart. And this is a day for self-care. So let go of your burdens and just worry about yourself today. Today is about you. So I believe this is for the moms out there and for everybody else who has a mom, in heaven. Just be with your moms, and it's self-care day. So be there for them today and lift their burdens for them. That's what I
Cool.
have for you.
Awesome. And let me go and brought up the wrong thing. I want to bring up the link here so I can show everybody Michelle's link. Whoops. Trying to do this on the fly, and usually I have these all set up, but it just creates all these buttons on my system, and I have to click between them and everything. So now
Oh,
so now I'm just doing one instead of having 10.
yeah, yeah.
That way I don't have to find them, and I can just type it in there. But Michelle's page is psychic.cafe/Michelle. And you can book readings with her over there, and you can ask her questions, talk to her in between shows. My page is /Dax, psychic.cafe/Dax. You can book a session with me there as well.
Yes. Hi,
Awesome.
Yasmin.
I was just going to say hi to Yasmin. I'm doing the URLs first though. Psychic.cafe/coffee. If you want to go grab us a cup of coffee. And yeah, Yasmin popped in there. She put a message in, but then retracted it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if she had a reading question or something, but I just want to let everybody know, if you're watching the live right now, pop in the chat, let us know you're there, say hello so we know who you are and all. And then if you just want like a general reading or something like that, just say, hey, could I have a message from the universe, or my guides or the angels or what have you. Oh, and Michelle's doing psychic mediumship now. So if you want a message from the dearly departed, someone on the other side, maybe mom's on the other side. Yeah. And if you have a very specific question, just type it in there, and we'll take the questions in the order that they come in.
Yes.
So we'll give people time to get in the chat. We're only just getting going here. Sometimes it takes a good half hour, 40 minutes before people
Mm-hmm.
notice, they're on their app,
Right.
and they're going, oh, look, they're live. And they click. Sometimes it takes a while.
It does.
In the meantime, um, the last time you had your show, we were going to talk about the Lenny cards, and
Yes.
we were so busy that show. We we were going to do it later in the show, but later in the show came and went.
I did.
we never got around to it. So we're talking about the Lenormand deck, and it's
Yes.
French, a French word. People pronounce it all different ways. It's difficult. Lenormand, enchanté, So I tend to just call them the Lenny cards.
The Lenny cards. It's so much easier.
Yeah,
My
and they've been around for a while, right, Michelle? But
They have actually.
they didn't become really popular in contemporary times till about 10, 15 years ago. And then a lot of new versions of the deck started coming out. Ciro Marchetti did his
And that
version of
is
the
my
deck.
favorite deck. My Hero
And
Marchetti.
and it became a thing. It was somewhat of a fad in the tarot circles. Like, we did shows on it. Other podcasts did shows on it 15 years ago, but then it kind of like got quiet again, and you still
Mhm.
hear about it in some circles, but not in others. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it, because I don't know anything about the Lenny deck other than a few things that I've heard. Of course, we did interview people, and we had, some workshops on the Lenny cards, had some guests on the show, but this is going back 15 years and I just don't remember it all. I do remember reading somewhere people saying how the Lennys were really good in a fortune telling sense, uh doing a reading on everyday questions,
Mhm.
you
They
know
are.
as a
Yes.
as opposed to the tarot, for instance.
Yes, they are. So the Lennys do go back very far. And they Marie Anne Lenormand was not the actual creator of the cards, but one of her students created these cards with a lot of her knowledge because he was her student and he wanted her in his cards. And that is why the actual reason why it is named after her. So at least that is one of the reasons why. Everybody has a different reason, but that is the one reason that I really believe is the actual truth, because he was her student. And
Well, that makes sense.
it really does. And
Yeah.
Marie Anne was an amazing woman. She was arrested many times in her day for fortune telling and doing tarot. And she had some really stout um, clientele that would bail her out. And she was also a psychic medium as well. So she was pretty amazing. Um, these are an oracle card, but they have a really strict set of structure to them. So there are only 36 cards, which
Yeah.
makes it really nice. Um,
Oh, I like how you put that too, because often when we're talking about oracle cards versus tarot cards, that's one of the first things I point out as a difference, is that the tarot has a very strict structure of 78 cards divided into two major groups, the major arcana and the minor arcana, and then subdivided into like the minor arcana includes four suits. It's like the playing cards, right? Like
mhm.
poker pinochle deck, and it has the core cards, which are the face cards or the people, the king
Right.
and the queens. the pages, the knights, right? So unlike playing cards, which have three face cards, the tarot adds a fourth face card, right?
Yep.
And you have the four suits, and then the arguably the fifth suit is the major arcana, which are the trump cards, which
Yes.
in Tarocchi,
Tarochi.
the actual game that it was used for in Italy when it was created in the Renaissance, it was a trick taking game like bridge. And then oracle cards, though, have no structure to them. Um, they're just cards that have meanings. There might be a loose, very, very loose numbering, and they're all over the place. I mean, you could have 25, 30 cards, you could have 100 cards, you could have 66 cards. Tarot is a minimum 78. Some decks add a few more cards, and
Right.
that's perfectly fine, you know, but you have to have that minimum structure of 78. You can always take out, like, for instance, the Steel Wizard Tarot.
Yes.
Uh in the core cards that we were just talking about, Pamela puts in a whole additional um an additional court
Princess
card.
word?
What's that?
Was it the princess or the maiden? The
Something,
maiden.
yeah, I think
Yes.
it's maidens. But then she also has some major arcana
Yeah.
cards,
Yes.
additional major. I can't remember the total number. That's not important.
27.
What I'm getting at is with this deck and with some of the other decks that have additional cards, if you are a strictest, you can, you know, you could pull out those cards and you have the 78, you know. So that's what makes a real tarot deck. Now, sometimes they call it a tarot deck. It's not a tarot deck.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's got less than 78 cards, so it can't make the structure that's required. Oracle
Yep.
cards don't have a structure. Now, the Lenormand cards are an Oracle deck, but they do have structure. And so that's what's really cool to me, is that that's what makes it different from like
Yes.
any other Oracle deck out there. You know, so in my mind, you've got Oracle decks, you've got Lenormand decks, you've got tarot decks.
Yes. That's how I see it because they're not oracle and they do have a strict 36.
Mm-hmm.
But Tiro Machete added, he has 40, I want to say 47,
Oh, he
but
does. Oh,
I have taken out the extra cards for now and I'm only using the 36.
so is his
So,
additional cards, are they just I don't know, additional images?
mhm.
I know, and you're going to show us the cards and tell us, but uh basically each card like has an image, has some kind of symbol on it.
Yes, and
And
meaning.
so he's adding additional symbols, that would be like 11 more cards.
I believe
Uh
it's
if it's
40.
40, if it's 47, you know, compared to 36. And I'm just wondering if he thought that there was
It might be
topic
42. Yeah.
topics that weren't covered, or something
Hmm.
wasn't covered in the Lenormand, so he added cards maybe.
Yes, there's the labyrinth, which is about, being lost, but being able to find your way out. There's a magnet. And there's a few cards that are just really amazing. So we'll go over those. I'll have to have Dan bring my box in because I left it on my desk.
Your box for the
My
deck.
box, yes.
Well, you can show us the back,
But
right? What's the backs of the cars look like?
these are beautiful cards.
Oh yeah, really nice. I like that. And it's got gold foil, gold on the sides.
Yes. The Gilded Reverie.
Gilded. Yeah.
And they're just, I love this deck. So this the way the way Lenormand reads
Mm-hmm.
is not the same as tarot. Um, like I said, it does have the structure. It has each card has a meaning. So the pictures don't change. This is a clover. This is the clover card. So any clover can go on this card. The number 2 card is always a clover. Whereas in tarot, we know that the number 2 card is the high priestess.
Yep.
So you can change that image around a little bit, but with this one, it's always going to be the clover.
Oh, I was thinking that's another difference where the the tarot and maybe simplifying it the way Lenormand does, it could help. See, when I look at especially the Waite-Smith versions and clones and many other decks too, but um the Waite-Smith version is very rich in symbolism, and each card, not every card, but a lot of the cards have a lot of symbols on them.
Right.
And so when you look at one card, you may be drawn to various different symbols on the card. But I think the Lennies make it easier by focusing in on one symbol per card. I actually like that idea. Only
Mm-hmm.
if I was making a deck, it wouldn't be a Lenormand deck. It'd be an Oracle deck, and it would probably have 150 cards because I have all these symbols I want.
Yes. And it just makes it so easy because the symbols, like the fish, no matter what fish is up here, the symbols aren't, it's the meanings. The fish
Mm.
is about resources, money, business. Those are the main meanings. But then you have to you read them as a sentence. So the first 3 cards you're going to read as a sentence. So you have the luck card. I'm reading this backwards. I have to look. You have the luck card, excuse me,
Oh my, we have a visitor.
with the resources and the money card. And then you got the tree. So there's some small joys or some luck coming your way in a financial area, but it's time to invest or
Mm.
set some roots down somewhere. And so with the Lenormand, you take each meaning and you read it as a sentence.
And to be fair, yeah, they do that in tarot too.
Yes, yes. And so it is very similar to tarot, but it's different at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one way of reading it. There's multiple ways, but that's the easiest ways to read it as a sentence.
I see. Yeah, because I know that Lenny's also or associated with the Lenny's is some complicated spreads and things like that.
Yes,
What do
there
they
is.
call the one that's like all 36 cards?
That is the grand tableau.
The Grand Tableau.
You use all 36 cards,
Whew.
and depending on the questions, you start in certain areas with the person, and you can go diagonal or up and down or just however to get to the card you're looking for. And then there's the 9 card spread, there's the 7 card spread, there's all sorts of different things. There's blocks where you do different blocks of cards. There is things called mirroring where you mirror your cards. and find the reflections in each other. There's pairings. It is really complicated. There's a lot to learn.
Mm. But at the same time, you can ignore all that and just make
Yep.
it really simple. And like you said, you lay 3 cards down.
Lay 3, 5 cards down, read a sentence, and it is so easy. It's so complicated, but it is so easy. You put them in your hands, and it's like, oh, okay, 3 cards. I've been shuffling. We've got the letter, so there's some information, and then it's okay. And then there's a fox. So what does this information contain?
Mm.
This information might contain something sneaky. Is this a love letter that nobody else needs to see? Whatever it is, it's full of little small joys that's going to make you happy. But the fox is involved, so this is for your eyes only. So you might want to watch your mailbox.
Mm. Interesting. And then also on the cards is a number and also a playing card in there.
Yes.
And I
So
gotta tell you, I never understood that. And there's a minimum 52 cards in a playing card deck, and I know people they do readings with just a poker deck.
yes.
Which is like taking the major arcana out of the tarot and just reading with that, which is perfectly fine. And a lot of people, that's how they first learned, like their grandmother read that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes sense. Okay. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, so on the card is a picture of a little miniature picture of a card.
Yes.
But the problem is there's only 36 Lenormand cards, not 52.
Exactly.
So that's where it throws me off, because it's like, well, then why even have just a few of the playing cards on the deck at all?
Well, so I'm not as versed with the playing cards as I should be. However, each of these refer to okay. I don't know. Let me see if I can get as close as I can here.
Yeah, we see it good.
Okay, the club is, oh my goodness. I want to say the club is the pentacle. So the club refers to the pentacle. So that's the
I
tarot
think
suit.
diamonds is pentacles, but I'm not
I think
entirely sure.
I think you might be right.
I used to like have
Mm,
that all in my head, but yeah,
I did
years
too.
later I don't pay attention. It's like, so hearts are obviously the cups, right?
Yes, here we go.
Spades spades are swords. And then we've got
Here's a heart.
yeah, so that would be the 9 of hearts.
9 of hearts. So,
But what I don't get is what's the thinking behind that? Why are they on the card?
so
What do we use them
I have
for?
not, we have not figured that out yet. There
Mm,
is not a lot of history on that.
you
And
know,
I
it, I'm thinking that maybe, well, we'd have to get a real expert, and
have,
read some books on it and the history and everything like that. Um, I I think of a couple of things. One thing is that it could have had a specific purpose, and then that was lost over the years. Uh, Another thing, it could be just a vestige of something, because maybe people were reading a lot than with a standard like poker deck.
right.
And so because these are cards, they were like, okay, let's put cards on the card.
That's,
And
yeah.
it was just an afterthought thing, maybe, and it really had
Hmm.
no purpose. I don't know. I don't know. We got to get someone to let us know.
Yes, because I've seen, and I have a deck back here somewhere that do not have the cards on them.
Oh, there's a Lenormand deck without the cards.
Yes, there's a couple of them out there.
See, unless it was a real strict thing where it was part of a system where it had to be there, I don't know that I would bother putting them on a modern Lenny deck.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, because
I would just do
nobody.
something else with the symbols.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Because otherwise,
Fascinating stuff. What about the numbers? You know, being a
so
numerologist, I love when I see numbers on the cards on decks, you know, even oracle decks, because at least when it comes up, you know, you can look at the numerological aspect of that, you know.
yes,
But does, to your knowledge, does the numbers have some kind of specific significance? Is it supposed to be used um numerologically, or is it some kind of I don't know.
it is just the order of the cards, 1 through 36.
Mhm.
And each card has their name. Like number one is the writer,
Right, right.
which, let's see here. Number one is the writer, which tells us there's
Well,
a message coming in.
oh, nice. Oh, it's very pretty. I like the colors. Let me just add this then. That's kind of what I thought, because like on a lot of oracle cards, in fact almost all oracle decks, if there's numbers, that's the only reason they're there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like this is the fourth card, this is the 21st card, you know.
Yes.
It has no real actual meaning, although people that are numerologists, if you pick up any deck of cards, if you're a numerologist, you're going to use the numbers in the cards,
Yes.
you know. But here's where the difference comes in. The numbers, and this goes to structure and the huge difference between tarot and everything else. And it's the structure. And you know, for people that are reading psychically and it's all about just looking at the image and, you know, what comes in your mind and things like that, it's not significant. But for those that like to read with a more structured approach, that's where the tarot deck really shines, because the numbers are not random on the card where they are on Lenormand and Oracle cards, if they even have them on Oracle cards. They're very structured. The essence of the number can be seen in or within the symbolism on the image and or the meaning of the tarot
Mm-hmm.
card. So the meaning of the cards line up perfectly with numerology. You know, it's I remember when I first started to learn tarot in earnest, you know, I mean, I've been interested in tarot and messed around with it since I was, you know,
Right.
watching Live and Let Die, you know, the James Bond, you know, one of the first major
Oh,
movies with tarot cards in it, you know. And I, you know, as a little tiny kid, right? Um, but I didn't start studying it in earnest till much later. And I had already studied sacred geometry, Metatron's cube,
right.
where we get the five platonic solids, which represent the five elements. And you find those elements in the tarot. And then I had studied numerology, and you have the numbers in the tarot. Between the numbers and the elements, you have the meanings of everything in the tarot deck. And so when I started studying the tarot deck, that's the first thing I noticed, that, oh, this deck is a numerological slash elemental system.
Mm-hmm.
And there are tarot readers to this day, people working with tarot, that don't get that. They don't
Right.
get the close connection. And so that's why I was curious about the numbers on the Lennies, because in tarot, I know they do line up perfectly with the meaning of each card. Any card you pull out of the deck,
Right.
you
Well,
know.
like this one is a Jack, and this is the child card.
Mm-hmm.
So this one has kind of the page, it's a child. It's an innocence. So that
Yeah.
does
So that
resemble
does
the
match. What's
knight.
the
Yeah.
number on that card?
The Jack,
No, what's
which
the number on that card?
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's 13, which is 4.
So that's 4 structure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And see, that may or may not line up with the meaning of the card, though. See,
Right.
but in tarot it does.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's blatant,
Yeah.
but other times in tarot it's very subtle. So
Right.
you really need to study numerology. There's only 1 through 9 in
Yeah.
numerology. You got to study that, and then you got to study the 5 elements.
And
And
it's a
that's how
beautiful
you
connection.
and that's how you figure out the meaning, and get a deeper connection to the meaning. And it also really helps, I think, learning it that way. In fact, that's why my course is called Tarot by the Numbers, because I
Yes.
take the tarot deck and I divide it up numerologically. And I know some people are thinking, but what about the major arcana cards, like card 15 that we just had? Well, like I explained, the sister card is the 6 card, because 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. 15 reduces to 6. That's how we say it in numerology. A
Yep.
bigger number, when you add it together and get a smaller number, a single digit number, you are reducing down. You could have a number with 10 numbers in it, but you keep adding them together, which is what we do with like dates. You take the entire
Yeah.
date, write it out as numbers, and add those numbers together until you get down to 2, down to 1. And it's called reduction. So anything, you could pick anything in the deck, like 18 is actually the 9 energy. 21 is the world card. 21 is actually the 3 energy, creativity and communication.
Yes.
So all of the higher numbers, including 10, in the minor arcana, we have 1 through 10, when there's really only 1 through 9. 10 is not really 1 past 10, 1 past 9. It's just 1, because 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 in numerology is a qualifier. It is it empowers the number that precedes it. So the way I explain it in tarot is that 10 is a special case, and in numerology we wouldn't use it. We were reduced to 1, but in tarot it's like that hairbreadth moment between the end of one cycle, 9, and the 1, the beginning of the next cycle. And so we have that. But then in the major arcana, where you have the once you get past 9, you start reducing. So card 10 is a 1 card, and card 19 is a 1 card. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. And so we group together all of those 1 cards and 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s. And that's how I teach the entire deck. The core cards are a special case because there's no numbers on the cards, but we have figured out that you don't continue the progress. I forget how to put that, but like 1 through 10, and then you're starting with like the page and the knight and the queen and the king. And some people want to go, okay, so if that's 10, then pages are 11, 12, 13, 14. But if you know numbers, if as a numerologist, if you reduce those numbers down, they don't match. They don't match the cards. But if you take the master numbers 11, 22, 33, and 44, they match perfectly the essence of the page, the knight, the queens, and the kings. So everything in tarot has numbers, and the numbers match up perfectly along with the elements, what's going on in the card, in the image of the card, the meaning of the card, everything like that. But we don't have that in oracle cards and in Lenormand cards.
Right.
But they do have numbers on them. And so if you're a numerologist and you're looking for numbers, at least there are some numbers there to work with.
And I have one deck, my Scrying Ink. This is the box.
Oh, and that's a Lenormand.
And it is a Lenormand. And with this deck, it has no numbers,
Oh, wow.
no symbols, just the words.
But I remember the coffin
Yes.
as being one of there's like out of 36 cards in the Lennies, I think I know three, you know.
There's the stork.
Okay, I can barely make that out, but yeah, I can see it's a stork.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God, there's a baby coming. What?
there's their son. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there are some cards that just have nothing but the word.
Some decks
And,
that don't have
right.
numbers, yeah,
And
or
then
the little
the
playing
symbol.
card symbols.
And then I have a couple decks, but
Old
I just
style learn them on.
yeah, this is also a really pretty deck.
Mm-hmm.
And this has
The
everything on it.
lady.
And the man.
In a modern deck, I guess you would have the
My snake.
I'm trying to think of what do they call that? They would have the non-binary, so they would have like
Right.
lady, the man, and then they'd
Man.
have them.
Yes.
They'd have a
Yes.
them card or something like that.
Right. Right. Yeah, well, Curio
Somebody needs to
Metheny.
do that. Somebody needs to put that in the learn them on
Right. I like that idea.
a
Yes.
them card, or they.
Yeah, them they card. Oh my goodness.
See, we're already coming up with cool stuff. You guys got to get out there and work on your decks.
Yep.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Oh,
so yeah.
shoot. Time is really getting away from us. What
Oh,
else?
let's see here.
I already pulled cards for the first reading in the chat there, and I actually have a thing to go to, so we got to get out of here soon.
There.
But we did have a lot of people coming in. Pam Bear and Nick's in there, and Aman, but we had that first question. I'm going to go back to
Anonymously.
anonymously,
Okay.
a message from Lord Krishna. So I'm just going to say a message from the universe,
Okay.
and I got the Lovers card. And here's the thing about the lovers. A lot of people, they see the lovers card. Let's say they're doing a reading on relationships, or they're in a relationship, or they want to get into a relationship. The lovers card shows up and it's like, oh, look, lovers, relationship. But the original meaning of the lovers card was actually making a choice. It was a decision. And so when the lover's card comes up, a lot of times the advice or the message coming through is it's symbolizing an important decision that needs to be made. And, focus on what might be the best for all parties involved. Choose the path of love when making the choice. And then in matters of the heart, in relationships or potential relationship, basically the lover's card saying go for it, right? um It could mean putting yourself out there anonymously. Or if you're in a relationship, it could be advising, do what you can to foster the intimacy, the harmony between you guys. Now, if it's a work situation you're dealing with, it could mean teamwork and communication. It's card 6, which is the nurturer, nurturing the situation. Again, how can you create harmonious working situations, harmony and so forth in work, listening to other points of view of people and bringing people together. It could mean putting others first or trying to meet people where they are, or meeting them halfway there. Or making others your priority right now. So there's some of the possible messages coming through for you, Anonymous. Okay. And then I think Pamela
Yeah, that
Amber
was,
had one after that.
yes, she was asking about a vehicle. And she said, "Do you see me getting a vehicle I need to be able to take my trip?"
Oh.
So, what I did was I started pulling some cards until I found the woman card.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is, I'm looking for your energy. And you're the female person in this, I'm assuming. I'm sorry. Um, but that's the energy I got from your name. And I got 3 cards, and they're all positive cards. I got the Sun card, which is go ahead and have your hope because this is a very successful card. I got the Trip card, the ship, that shows that yes, you're going to go on a trip. And then I got the number 2, the Luck card. So it's showing that there is luck in getting that vehicle and going on your trip. And with that positivity, with the Sun over here, the Sun, you got
Uh-huh.
3 very positive cards. So you got 3 yes cards for your getting a vehicle. So
Mm.
yeah, I think it could be very possible that you're going to get that vehicle.
So I pulled cards and got the Fool card, Major Arcana, big fat yes,
Yep.
and two cards, which are also yeses. These are kind of choice kind of cards. It reminds me of what we just had with the Lovers card. And with the Two of Swords, there's like a decision that needs to be made. She's blindfolded. She's got 2 swords crossing. Swords are thoughts and ideas. So it's like 2 different ideas, 2 different directions you go in where they're crossing. When this card comes up, I usually say there's a decision that needs to be made, and the person is either unwilling or unable to make the decision. And then this is looking for options, as far as that card goes. Car, sorry, she's looking, and yeah, I'm trying to figure this out though, Michelle, because like I'm looking at the specificity of the question, and that's really important when you're doing a reading for those out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's she actually asking here? Okay, so
Do
do
you
you
see
see
her
me?
getting a vehicle?
Yeah, but in what context? Okay, this is what I'm getting at, Michelle. And because these cards that came up, yeah, it says yes, but it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm looking at the question. My question is,
Right.
do you see me getting a vehicle I need to be able to take the trip I am needing so badly? Okay, so it's implying badly, she really needs to take this trip. And I don't know if it's because she needs to, is it because
Hmm.
she needs to do something, or she really badly needs to take this trip in order for her to relax and get away for a while? Or Pam, are you talking about like she needs to go somewhere to get something really badly? What's the thing? Also, when she says getting a vehicle, I need to be able to take the trip.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I'm in a
Yep.
wheelchair and need a handicapped vehicle. Okay. So see, that's a bit of it, we're not that psychic. We're not psychic in that way. I'm not going to know you're in a wheelchair. I don't see things like that. You got to actually tell me the exact specifics,
Okay.
you
But
know,
I do see
but there's more,
positivity
but,
in that.
but hold on. I got,
Yeah.
I got a lot more questions here, Michelle. I got a lot more
Oh boy.
questions
Oh
because,
boy.
because in addition, she says the vehicle she needs, okay, 90% of the time when somebody asks a question similar to this, they're asking, they want a car. They don't have a car now. They want to get a car. But that's not what I'm getting from this question. It's like
Right.
the car that I need to take the trip. Okay. So are we asking, are you going to receive a car, be able to purchase a vehicle, or have access to a vehicle in order to make this trip? And the reason why the question is so important, Michelle, is that those are all different things.
That is true.
Right. So, are you going to be able to do this? I'm getting a yes, but depending on what the situation is, I would give you additional advice, ideas, things like that. For instance, why are you struggling to get a vehicle to get to where you need to go on this trip or whatever? Like, okay, if you're trying to, get a vehicle where you own it, am I going to be able to purchase a vehicle? Am I going to be able to acquire a vehicle? That's different from getting transportation. You see? So what I'm getting at is go rent one. Why are you not just renting a vehicle and taking the trip? And I realize you're handicapped, but there are handicap rentals. Not only that, if it comes down to it, you can hire the driver and the vehicle. You see, find somebody that has a handicap accessible vehicle, or hey, look, me and Doug's in a wheelchair. We take Uber all the time when we're trying to get somewhere. And what was that? Wow. I heard myself.
Yeah, I heard something too.
Yeah, that's really weird. Every once in a while when we're on these shows, that happens. And I don't know what you're doing. You're like, you put your hand near your phone, you touch something, and then I hear myself in the background again. Like
That is weird.
yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like the sound is turning on for a second on the YouTube. I'm assuming
Huh.
that's where you have the chat on the
Yeah, but
YouTube.
I haven't. Yeah, that is so weird.
Isn't that weird? And this, the reason why I'm
And
confused and why I'm asking about this is because this is not the first time. This happens a lot.
no, a
And I'm
lot.
wondering
And it's so weird.
why do I hear, you know, bizarre
But
stuff going on, folks? But but
Pam
yeah,
wants to be independent. She
what's
wants
that?
her vehicle. Pam wants to be independent. She wants a vehicle for her own use, not just this trip.
Okay,
Um,
see, and that's what I'm getting at. That's why
yeah,
the question is so important, because that is not what I got from that question. I got from that question, she needs to go on this trip. Well, until you get a vehicle and you can be independent, meanwhile, get to where you need to go. Okay. Hire a driver and a vehicle. We do it all the time. And it's no specialized vehicle or anything like that. We get Doug from his wheelchair into the Uber vehicle, and I just collapse the wheelchair and I put it in the trunk, and the driver drives us to our destination. Don't overthink things. Maybe you can't get that vehicle right now, but you can still take the trip. That's what I'm getting at. Do you understand? I'm trying to give you choices. I'm trying to give you advice, other things you can do. There's a lot of things you can do to get where you need to go in the meantime. And
Right.
and that's what I think this is. You see, remember I said, Michelle, unable or unwilling to make the decision. A lot of times we block the universe from helping us because, giving us the right solution, because we're thinking of one solution. It has to come this way. I have to acquire the vehicle and be totally independent. Well, you don't in the meantime. Until you get there, you can still get there.
Yep.
Okay. And then that's where this card comes in. See, this is doing the search for getting the vehicle that allows you to be independent.
Yeah.
And if I knew if I was sitting down with you for 30 minutes and 40 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, doing a private reading, I would ask a lot of these questions and I would pull a lot more cards and we could narrow it down. Because what is the issue? I mean, is it funds? You can't find the vehicle. I mean, there's a lot of different aspects to this that we don't have time to get into here on the show. But I have you here looking, and it's suggesting that there are resources out there that are going to be able to help you acquire a vehicle so you can be independent all the time. But in the meantime, take the leap of faith. Go for it. Open up. Make the decision that you are going to take the leap and go for it. Open up to other possibilities, to allow the universe to bring in other possibilities. Maybe a friend goes with you on this trip and does the driving, and you guys rent a van. I don't know. I'm just saying, you don't have to wait. And that's what people do in all kinds of different questions and situations. They wait until things are perfect the way they think it needs to be, rather than just going for it, which is what the Fool card suggests. Anyway, that's what I got for you, Pam. I hope that helps you out. Oh, Nick said in the chat, the meaning of the playing card in a playing card prediction is depicted in the Lenormand as a symbol. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I get that. And that's what I kind of thought, Nick. But again, I go back to the fact there's not 52 cards. There's only 36. So why even do that then?
Right.
In my mind, if you're going to make a deck that has symbols, but at the same time has numbers, but at the same time allows you to use it as a playing card deck, either for predictions or just playing poker or whatever, it should be a 52 card deck with all 52 cards, which, like the minor arcana in the tarot, all on each card, so it, and then have different symbols for the Lenormand aspect of it. So 36. God, I can't do simple math in my head anymore. 36 from 52 to 16 more cards you need. Now Chiro adds 11. You're more than halfway there. You only need 4 more cards,
Yeah. Yep. I can do that.
Okay, so somebody needs to do a 52 card Lenny deck. We'll call it something else.
I'm working on a Lenny deck.
Oh, cool.
So, I'm just telling all my dirty secrets.
Don't tell anybody. Yeah. Well, you're going to be the Lenormand queen because you're going to do the workshop, and you're going to do the course and have your deck, and don't forget the book, of course.
Yes. Yep.
You let that slip the other day too, so I can say
I did.
Oh, and there was a question from Amon about My father's brother and his family are after us. Now, what does that actually mean? And Dan asked him in chat, is this in a bad way? Do you need to notify the authorities? So when we get these questions on these shows, we have to always remind people that there is help out there, and you can dial 911. You can dial there's like the national suicide line, suicide prevention line. There's the I think it's star 988. You can dial for veterans issues. There's so much help out there, so we do have to put that out there. They taunt us a lot. Okay, they can never be happy with our growth. Hey, that is family. So what's the question?
I need an answer for why my father's brother, his family, is jealous of us.
Yeah. And so, with the why, we may never find out the total why. And this is the thing. It's not your family. It's every single family out there, or at least parts of the family or certain individual members of the family. There's always these issues and these petty jealousies and things like that. There always are, and I just want to, we'll pull cards here, and Michelle's working on it right now, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing. I just wanted to point out, we cannot control other people. And, this has been coming up a lot lately on the shows, Michelle, on various episodes in the last, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks. We've had this come up a lot, where it's these kind of situations. You cannot change or control what other people are going to do, feel, think, or say, but you can control how you react to that. And so a lot of the questions we were getting on shows are similar to this. What is their issue? Or what is this other person thinking? And it becomes a third party reading. And in tarot, or in reading in general, oracle cards, Lenormand, whatever, doesn't matter. Reading cards, a third party reading is when you have you there, you have the client there, but you're reading about a third person or persons. And we call that sometimes psychic peeping toming.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of readers won't do that, just so you know. They find it unethical. So they try to change it to where, okay, let's ask about you and your reaction and your feelings surrounding whatever's going on, rather than figuring out, necessarily why are they jealous? Because ultimately none of this matters. All that matters is how you react to it, because your reaction sets up what you are then going to attract in. You can either attract more of that by reacting to it, or less of it by not reacting to it and just putting out love. But let's see what Michelle's getting in the cards.
Okay. So I got the heart card, which shows that this family is intertwined with a lot of issues. So what I'm seeing is a lot of jealousy. I got the 9. Is that the 9? The 8, which is the coffin, which is endings. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of something needs to come to an end. Okay. And there's a lot of movement going on. I got the stork card. And the stork card is not necessarily about children, but about movement. So it's time to move out of that side of the family situation. It's time to separate yourself, end the feud by walking away from that side of the family, because it is breaking the family apart by staying together, by being in any kind of communication. It might be time to just move away and separate altogether.
Mm.
And there are resources out there that can help you do that. I got the fish, which is about resources. So there is help out there. There are places you can go that can help you to get protection from whoever, your uncle's family that is chasing you. And you might have to do that. So check out the resources that is in your area.
Mm. Okay. Oh, and I did want to mention anonymously was saying, oh, they probably missed me. No, we didn't miss you. We already did your reading. And Charlotte is helping them out in there, letting them know. Hi, Charlotte, by the way.
Yes, hi, Charlotte.
Charlotte and Dan, our moderator, they're letting Anonymous know, you can catch the reading in the replay. Just go back a little bit before that. Let's see. My father will never leave this place. Aman said about our mental health is at worst because of them. See, and this goes back, this actually verifies what I just said before, that again, it's how you are reacting, not what's going on with them. Our mental health is at worst because of them. No, your mental health is at worst because you are reacting to this
Yeah.
other side of your family, and so it's important that you figure this out. The main focus card I got on this is the Queen of Cups, being the nurturer. Okay, and tapping into your psychic ability, your intuition, your gut instincts. You already know the answers to it. You know why they're jealous. Okay, and your uncle shows up as the Emperor card here, the Five of Cups. Okay, it's very interesting. The Emperor, 4 structure, stuck in that structure with the uncle. 5 in numerology is what breaks us free of the structure of 4 to move to the higher numbers. Philanthropy, 9, abundance, 8. You need to break free. Notice this is the crying over spilt milk card. You're crying over spilt milk, these cups that are turned over, but there's cups right here that are upright and are on this side where the bridge is across the river of life, leading you to your goal, what you want. So you need to get crystal clear on what you want. And it's a big cosmic wake up call with the judgment card. If you want to be happy, what you need to do is tap into your intuition, your psychic ability. Stop crying over spilt milk. Stop reacting to them. It's just like what I said before about you can react with nurturing energy instead of negative energy. And it requires change because remember, 5 that breaks us free of the 4 energy structure with your uncle there and that part of the family. 5 is change also. So change is required to break free. There you go. I hope that helped you out.
Yeah. And your uncle, I'm really feeling like, I don't know if your grandfather is alive or not. I shuffled my cards and I re-pulled this card for some reason, the coffin.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't know if your grandfather is alive or not, but I really feel like your uncle is jealous of your father's position. Like your father is probably the head of the family, the patriarch right now. And I think that is why your uncle is probably jealous. And the more you react to him, the
Uh-huh.
happier he is. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
you don't
That's another
react,
aspect, right?
yeah, if you don't react, yeah, that's gonna really show him. Yep.
There's an old saying in this part of the world, and It's kill them with
Kill them
kindness.
with kindness.
You know, that's the best ammunition that you've got, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, your family staying sane is more important. And also your family staying sane is going to drive them nuts too, because they want to
Yep.
drive you nuts. Yep. Anyway, we got to get out of here. It is like way past noon, and I have a thing to go to. You know, one of those events at the Legion. Um. So Michelle,
Well, I'm glad you were on today. Thank you. I had fun. Thank you for coming on with me today.
it was fun being here, and thanks everybody that showed up and hanged out with us and asked questions. And
Yes. Come
uh,
check us out, psychic.cafe.
yeah, and then real quickly, I'm just going to mention that I'll be on with Charlotte on Monday. And because it's Mother's Day tomorrow, the 12th, we will not be having one of our Q&As or a show. So it's going to be nothing tomorrow, but I'll be back on with Charlotte, and it'll be an evening show, 6:30 p.m. San Diego Pacific time, 9:30 p.m. New York Eastern time. And then I did talk to Catherine. She's working on she has actually a couple of pre-recorded shows, and she's going to be getting that to me. Just wanted to mention that. And then Michelle's next. Hey, Michelle, your next Mystic Corner, the 25th, Saturday,
The yes.
Saturday the 25th. But I will be on doing a show on the 18th, next Saturday.
That's right.
I don't know if anybody's going to be joining me, but I'll also be on that Sunday with Pamela Steele.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. And then when you do your show, your next show, the fourth Saturday, so the 25th, that Sunday um will be our next live Zoom discussion and Q&A at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And all you have to do is go to psychic.cafe/Zoom on the 26th. If you have any questions, you want to talk about Lenormand or tarot or oracle cards, numerology. Maybe you're taking my course, Tarot by the Numbers, and you have questions. You might be stuck somewhere in the course. Maybe you want to ask about, you know, how do you get certified as a tarot reader, as a numerologist, as a psychic advisor, joining the guild, becoming a member, putting your business on www.psychic.cafe as well.
Yep.
And then the angelic view, of course, is on hiatus. Maria's going to be getting me eventually some pre-recorded shows while her and Artie are um, up in New York, basically, you know, snowbirding it up there. And lastly, you know, we're the official broadcast of the Tarot Guild. We're now in our 20th year. We're coming up on the 20th anniversary. Not till October. It's actually on Halloween. Yes. But we are in our 20th year. It's fantastic. And you can join the guild. Remember, it's free to join Psychic Cafe, but you can join the guild. Our spring sale is just $78 right now, 75% off. Lifetime membership. You're one and done paid. You know, you don't have to pay every year, every month, you know, our annual or our monthly subscription. You can pay one and done. Right. And that's going away soon along with the sale. Yeah. 75% off. Normally 290, 297. I think you save about $219. Yeah. So go check that out. And don't
It's
forget,
such an awesome deal.
yeah. And a lot of you guys, like you, Michelle, and Dan, your hubby, and
Mhm.
all these people, like I saw Jill in the chat
Yes.
earlier, and all these people have gotten in on this deal, and they're going to be sad when it goes away because it's going to be subscription after that. It's going to be so much per year and or so much per month, however
Yep.
you want to do it, like a Netflix subscription. And then, of course, our coffee page. Go over to psychic.cafe/coffee and grab us a cup of coffee if you're enjoying the shows. By the way, if you're going to come on, you're going to have a question on Monday. If you want to be first and be sure that we take your question, it'll be me and Charlotte on Monday. Go over to psychic.cafe/coffee, buy me a cup of coffee. And then in the chat on Monday, let us know you bought us a cup of coffee. And we'll take your question first. All right, that's it. Bye,
Yes.
everybody. Bye,
Bye,
Michelle.
everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Thank you,
coming.
Dax.
And we're out of there. Yay.
Yay.